Hi there. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I am your satanic pizza delivery person, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode, Josh. How are you doing?
I'm very well. We are back. We are sorry that we took a week off. We had some technical difficulties and lost 2 episodes, so we are not doing Haunted Palace this week as promised. But we are giving you a very special episode with lots of goodies to make up for it, and thanks for your understanding. We have a very special episode today because we have a guest, which we don't usually have. And it's even more special than that because at the end of the episode, I will plug in an interview with my friend who is in the movie in a small role and agreed to do like a little 5 or 10 minute interview. So very special all around. And with that, let me welcome our guest. He is a professor of writing at NYU, and he is the editor of It Came From the Closet, Queer Reflections on Horror. Please welcome Joe Vallese. How are you, Joe?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I love this podcast so much.
We're so excited to have you. We love you too. And we're very grateful that you agreed to be here, especially with this movie, which we've been meaning to do for a really long time.
I felt really lucky when you told me that it was not already in the can with somebody else. So I was very happy.
Yeah. How are you? What's going on there? You're in New York, right?
I'm in New Jersey, just outside of New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where in New Jersey?
I'm in Bergen County. My husband and I moved actually in the pandemic back to my hometown because our son was being born via surrogacy. And
oh my gosh.
It was like scary enough, but he's being born in Oregon. So we had to like get on a plane and like 3 months into the pandemic and wait for him to be born and bring him home. And our landlord needed his place back because I believe there was some infidelity and his wife kicked him out. So he had, he had to go and we had to leave, and it was like a crazy thing. So we wound up actually moving back to my hometown because we're like, we need to be near some grandparents. We're going to have this like 10-day-old baby that we're bringing home with us. And yeah, it was a wild ride. So we've stayed in Jersey since because, you know, when you leave the city a few years later, you're like, oh, wow, the rent really is too damn high. And it's like,
it is really too damn high.
I'm not sure we can ever go back to it, you know, but
yeah,
I love it and miss it. Yep.
I actually lived in New York for 15 years, so I have some New York bona fides, and I really love New Jersey. I feel like it gets a bad rap.
I love Jersey,
I think it's because it just looks so awful from the turnpike. But once you get off of the turnpike, it's such a beautiful place.
Yeah, and there's so many like enclaves where people who can no longer afford to live in Brooklyn have gone and settled. So a lot of towns are actually quite like, they're like little mini Park Slopes or mini, you know, Fort Greens. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it's a great place, and it's the best views of New York are right from here. So
it's true.
It's a good trade-off. Yeah.
Listen, everybody, what have we been watching? What have we been doing? Let's get through our chatter. Drew, do you want to go first?
Yeah, why not? I did the rare thing and actually like went to the movies and saw something that's recent rather than sitting on my ass on my couch in my home and watching the Criterion Channel, watching some musty old thing from 1942. Yeah. My girlfriend and I went out on a date. We went to go see the new Emma Seligman movie from the director of Shiva Baby. We went to go see Bottoms. And it was a fucking banger. It was really
to see this.
Really good, really, really funny. I really appreciate how in the past few years we've been getting a like string of updated like female-led teen comedies that are like more mean-spirited and absurd than the last. Like we got Booksmart a little bit in like 2019, and then we got Do Revenge last year with like SMG that was like really mean-spirited, and all of these have been super gay, and now Bottoms comes through with more like blood and explosions and insanity that you would expect from such a movie, and it is so delightful, and it has the best use of Bonnie Tyler's what's the big song of hers?
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Total Eclipse of the Heart. Oh my god. That and Avril Lavigne are used to absolute peer perfect perfection in this movie. Rachel Senna and Ed Beery are so goddamn funny. The supporting cast is incredible. It's super, super, super funny. I just found out though that it's only like in 10 theaters in America right now.
Is that true?
Wow. Fucking ridiculous. It's got the highest per theater average of the entire year.
Wow.
So far. Like better than Barbie and stuff like that. But it's only in 10 movie theaters. So like it's people really want to see it, but it's like only available in like New York and LA, which is fortunate for me that I'm a coastal elite, but like
what about the people in Duluth? When will they get to see Bottoms? They have to wait for Peacock or Max, I guess.
Oh my god.
I realize I know nothing about it, so
oh really?
Maybe see without knowing anything. Maybe that's the right.
I've seen the trailer a few times.
The trailer is fine, but the good thing about the trailer is that it doesn't oversell any of the jokes, especially with a comedy. You're so accustomed to like all of the good jokes are in the trailer, and you go in and you've already seen those beats, and it's whatever. The trailer is very good and very funny. The movie's even funnier, and the movie's far more absurd and strange and surreal than the trailer even lets on. It's more or less about a group of outcast lesbians who decided to form a fight club at their school for women so they can pick up chicks.
I love that.
Okay, so it's properly queer. Okay, cool.
It's properly queer.
Good. Okay.
I know that script
very
has been
funny about it too.
I know that script has been going around for a while in Hollywood. It took a little while. Wait, no, I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm thinking of the Coen brothers like lesbian road trip movie.
That's a different movie.
Yeah, I combine these two movies.
Drive Away Dolls is a very different movie. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't make any. But the trailer looks really bad, so I will probably be seeing it. But Bottoms was a banger. Bottoms is a delight. I highly, highly recommend Bottoms.
I need to go watch that trailer again because I think I'm playing the Drive Away Dolls trailer in my head.
Probably.
Which made me feel like, I don't know if this movie is for me. It looks like some sort of TikTok genderqueer kind of, like soft comedy, which is not my favorite thing. I think we've sort of lost sight of the fact that comedy is essentially laughing at people, whether you want to admit it or not. That's what comedy is. And so these like nice, friendly sort of Ted Lasso comedies kind of don't land after a while. And to your point, Drew, I've been really craving some more mean-spirited comedies because they're funnier to me. Maybe I'm a bad person, but that's just where I sit. What about you, Joe? What have you been watching?
So I'm just getting back into the groove of going to the theater. I actually saw 2 movies in 2 weeks, Barbie, and then I saw Talk to Me, which I was again knew nothing about, and really loved it. So speaking of like mean horror, going from mean comedy to mean horror, it's a pretty mean movie. I really enjoyed it. It was, sort of a tried and true kind of formula, like a simple story, but really well acted, really effective, not like terribly surprising, pretty predictable in some ways, but there's like a moment I won't spoil, but you'll know when you see it, where, do you know the plot of it?
I know roughly that it's like, I haven't seen it yet, but I know that it's like
kind of like a play on like Monkey's Paw, like
Okay.
There's this like corpse's, well, maybe a corpse's hand. You don't know if it's really, from a body or not. And these teens have it and they go to parties. And if you grab the hand, you will see a dead person in front of you. And if you say, talk to me, they will. And if you let them into your body, you will sort of experience them in you. But you can only do it for 90 seconds. If you go beyond, something terrible will happen. And they've never gone beyond 90 seconds. And of course, our lead final girl, in quotations, lets it go on a little too long, and then some terrible things ensue as a result. And it's fun because it's sort of like they do this really excellent job of making, there's like a great montage of like kids over and over again doing it. So it's almost like they're like doing a keg stand or, like snorting a line, but instead they're like over and over going back on the roller coaster of touching the hand and seeing a dead person and having them inside them. And it's a really great, like energetic, kind of funny, but very creepy montage. And then when it goes too far, that scene is like hyper disturbing, like includes body horror. It like, happens to like the sweetest character in the room. It's really upsetting. It's like genuinely shaking. So from that moment on, it's just like a really intense film. I really do recommend it. It was much better than and I can't say better than I anticipated because I didn't know anything about it. I kind of just was like, I have a free afternoon. Let me go to the movies. Let me see this horror film that's playing here. I was alone in the theater, which was its own kind of creep out. Nobody else was there. Yeah.
Wow.
And that added to it being in a dark theater by myself.
I really want to see this. I don't know why I didn't see it when it was in theaters. I think it's probably out of theaters.
It'll probably be
still
streaming
in
soon,
theaters.
I would think.
Oh, it is?
Okay.
Oh, I still have a chance.
I think it did
Josh,
pretty well,
it's an
right?
A24 horror. That's like...
That's true.
I know.
It is an A24
I do love A24.
your bag and nothing else.
I don't know why I haven't seen it. It's just one of those things that got past me, but I've heard nothing but good things. I don't think, I think the most negative review I've heard from people is like, it's a 3-star movie, which is not that bad, I've only heard positive things about it. Drew, did you see that?
I've not seen Talk to Me yet, and honestly, it's only because that and there's a new horror film from Neon that's coming out. I think it's not The Devil Inside, that's a different movie. That's
a really bad one.
It's something inside, and it's like an Indian American like teenage girl experiencing depression and they seemed very similar to me, and also seemed very post Babadook, like the horror is a very loud metaphor kind of thing. Where I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be some bang bang spooks to happen, and sure, it just didn't excite me. So I'm sure I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've heard people be very, very, very excited.
It's scary and gory. It's not like the sort of like nothing really happens kind of thing. It actually has quite a bit like pulsing through it, and it's actually very, it's got some jolts for sure.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Well, I saw something really cool. I went to Alamo for Weird Wednesday and saw a movie that I knew nothing about going in. I'd never even heard of it. And I was surprised to find out when I got there, when the guy came up to give his like curtain speech, that it was a Frank Henenlotter movie.
King.
And I was like, what the hell? So listener, I'm sure you know, but in case you don't, Frank Henenlotter made the holy trinity of Basket Case, Brain Damage, and Frankenhooker in the 80s. And he's known as this sort of New York City, New Jersey sort of exploitation, super trashy filmmaker. Really funny, fast, weird, it's kind of trashy, fun movies from the 80s. So he made this movie in 2008, and it's called Bad Biology. And I had no idea that it existed, which is wild because in 2008, I lived in New York City. I was 27. I was certainly a horror fan, and it just completely passed me by. And I guess Severin has just done a restoration and release of it. And it's really worth watching. It has all of the Frank Henenlotter things that you love. It revolves around a woman who was born with 7 clitorises, and you get all of these POV shots from the inside of her vagina, where there are like throbbing bits and bobs as a man like peeks inside of her vaginal folds. And she's a nymphomaniac because she has a lot of clitorises. Every time she has sex, she immediately has a baby an hour later, which she then promptly like leaves in a dumpster or in an abandoned car. And then she's like stalking this man who has a giant, literally giant, with a mind of its own penis that he feeds steroids to. And at times the penis breaks off of him and goes on rampages where it bursts through walls in women's apartments and attacks them. It's wild.
Whoa.
It's probably the most transgressive Frank Henenlotter movie that I've seen. It's very funny. It's very dirty, very explicit. I was afraid it was going to be shot on video because it's from 2008. It's shot on film. It looks beautiful. I mean, the only reason that I don't like it as much as some of his 80s movies is only because I don't like 2008 as much as I like the 80s. And so the aesthetic just isn't my favorite. But it's really cool. So it's coming out from Severin Films rather. It's called Bad Biology. It's really worth checking out if you like his work, or if you like, things like The Greasy Strangler or, John Waters' old 70s movies. Like if you like transgressive, funny horror, you'll really like it.
Oh wow, the poster is somebody peeking through the many folds of the vagina.
Yeah.
Wow.
It kind of is like Crimes of the Future a little bit. Like, what a weird, like, if you wanted to do a highbrow, lowbrow double feature, which we talk about sometimes, I would recommend Bad Biology and Crimes of the Future.
I think that would make
That
sense.
honestly,
together.
I feel like Crimes of the Future first because it's such a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that because the characters in Bad Biology view themselves as like evolutions of the human body, or at least one of them does. So it really does feel like Crimes of the Future or like
Honestly,
Cronenberg.
I would love to see a whole series of Hen and Lauder Cronenberg double bills.
That's a
Like,
great idea.
Rabid and Frankenhooker paired together.
Wow.
Oh my
Or
God.
like Basket Case and Dead Ringers.
Yeah.
Drusilla, you just came up with a $5 million idea.
Fucking go.
I think
American
you have to do the-
Cinematheque,
you have to do the
Vidiots,
film
give me a
series.
call, Alamo. I'm available for booking.
Oh my God.
You
Amazing.
got to pitch it, make it happen. That sounds pretty.
We
fun.
should. We've always wanted to do screenings. Now as we've just come up, Drusilla's just come up with our great idea. Anyway, let's talk about the movie of the day, shall we? This is
Yes.
the movie that Joe picked, which we're super grateful for because we both love it. At least Drusilla, you love this movie, yes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good.
It figures. Of course, we were talking about from 2009, written and directed by the great Ty West, House of the Devil.
I can tell you like it.
I love it. It's perfect. About the deposit, I'll agree to waive all the deposit stuff. You just give me the first month's down, we'll call it a day, all right? It's hard coming up with all that money, isn't it?
It's gonna work out.
You're not the one with $84 in my bank account and a check to write on Monday.
You know what you should do?
Hi, I'm calling in regards to the babysitter flyer posted outside my dorm.
Tonight's big eclipse is now well underway.
I feel a little weird just dropping you out here, like in the middle of wherever we are.
You have to forgive me, Samantha, because I've not been completely honest.
We're from the desert, you know.
You see that?
So Joe, when did you first see this and what did you think of it when you saw it?
I saw it in 2009. I didn't see it in the theater. I didn't know about it, and then read about it online and saw that it was like not streaming at the time. It was like I was renting on Time Warner Cable for $4.99 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
And and I watched it with my cousin who was my roommate at the time, and we were both just so into it. We had like opened a bottle of wine. It was like a Friday night in Brooklyn. We had like turned the lights down and we're just like stunned by how good it was. We were like, whoa, this was great. And for me, like, I feel like, and I think you'll agree with me. I think it's sort of like the unsung, like beginning of the renaissance of the slow burn horror movie. Like there really
Absolutely.
hadn't been films like that in a very long
Yes.
time. And I remember seeing the trailer, and it said, like shades of early Polanski or whatever was one of the blurbs. And I thought, well, they say that like, that everything's Rosemary's Baby, part 2 all the time. And I really felt that watching it. I was like, this does things that you just don't see in movies. And, little do you know that, the following few years, many movies are going to do exactly that and do it to much poorer affect, but I was just so sold on the tightness, the simplicity of it, the slow burn quality with a few literal bang very early on the end of the first act. And I also, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, I was so intrigued, and I've spoken to people, and like, it's one of the movies that I've shown a lot of people. I think anybody who loves horror loves to show, films they love to others. And I've had some people's negative reactions be that they think that there's like the air is let out of the tires because we know so much that the character doesn't know. We know that there's somebody in the house. We know about the bodies with the shaved heads. We know all these things, so they felt like it wasn't scary as a result.
Oh, I disagree.
I disagree entirely.
too.
I
That's
thought
where the
the
tension
opposite.
comes from.
Exactly. The fact that we know things that she doesn't, and we also know things, but we don't actually know the truth of them. And that's also what's really spectacular about it. So I disagree with that critique full-throatedly. I love it for that very reason.
Me too.
And so I was just so into it. And my cousin I live with got me a poster of it, and we hung it up in the apartment. This like huge, great poster, the one of her bloody with like the fire behind her. I loved it. And I just spent the next few years showing it to people and talking about it. And then when I saw that movies were going in that direction, I was excited, but nothing ever satisfied me. Even other Ty West films didn't satisfy me.
Same.
I say it complimentary because he's a great filmmaker, but I don't think he's ever done better than that movie.
I totally
I always
agree.
go in like I just.
I
don't feel-
disagree only in one single movie. And
I
that's
know what you're
Pearl.
going to say.
Pearl.
I
Yeah.
do think Pearl is his magnum opus thus far.
I adore Pearl, and I really
Pearl's
like
great.
X, but I have
Yeah.
specific aesthetic buttons being the same age as Ty West, and this is the only one that hits it. And I had the exact same experience as you, Joe. I somewhat checked out of horror in the 2000s because I was like, I don't know what's happened to this genre. I'm not that into these movies that are coming out. And I remember renting this off of cable just as you did and thinking like, okay, we're back. Like, this is for me. And the aesthetic of this is so dialed in that
Totally.
there's a great meme about the 80s that I've seen a few times where it's like how people imagine the 80s, and it's like girls in neons with side ponytails, how the 80s actually looked. And it's like a glass ashtray on a brown table. And like this movie looks how the 80s actually looked in my memory.
And it feels like it too, right? You get the feeling of being back. Yep.
And they shot it on 16 millimeter film, and the costumes are so dialed in and subtle. There's no side ponytails, no neon. It looks like the early 80s when it's still 70s adjacent, like 1980, 81. And they just really nail it right down. I was watching it today for the podcast, and the moment when she has her Walkman on and is dancing to that song by The
so
Fix,
good.
I'm like, that's even how someone would dance in 1981. Like, that's not how a teenager in 2009 dances. That's how a teenager in 1981 dances. And it's just perfectly executed in my mind in every
That's also
single way.
one of the best scenes in not only that movie, but in like any modern horror movie.
Yeah, it's great.
So fucking good. And that song's such a fucking banger. One thing leads to another.
Yeah.
Oh my
Love that song.
god.
This movie has some good songs, and it also has the breakup song by Greg Killen Band when Greta Gerwig is in the car, which is a great song. That scene is so great when she's dancing because it just is such a slow burn that it gives you like a little bit of a break before pulling the rug out from under you.
And it goes on for a very long time, like all things considered. It goes on
As
for a
well
while.
it should.
Yeah.
Because you kind of don't want it to stop. You've had so much tension and slowness and build and intrigue that you get this little bit of burst of fun, and the way it ends is so upsetting.
Yeah.
Even in a small way, it's very, very, very upsetting that this little moment of like peace is like shattered, and it's the last we're gonna get for the rest of the fucking movie.
Yeah. Totally.
But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the sort of plot and the beats of this. So the movie opens with a title card that explains that 70% of Americans believed in satanic cults in the 80s, which, you know, this was less well established in 2009, but, you know, it's well documented now, the satanic panic of the 80s. And I kind of remember it. I remember living in Florida as a little kid in the 80s and be like, oh, you can't go to that beach because there was dead cats found because people were sacrificing cats to the devil and stuff. I'm like, you know, 6 years old or whatever. It was all made up, like many moral panics are. But that's just setting the tone for what we're going to get. And basically, loosely, the plot, in case you haven't seen it, is that Samantha, played wonderfully, I think, by Jocelyn Donahue, is a college girl on break, and she wants to rent an apartment from the iconic D. Wallace Stone, but she doesn't have the three. I mean, such a great cameo.
Such
first
a great
of all.
cameo. And to
One of
start
many
off
in
like
this
that,
film.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the $300 for the first month's rent. So she sees a flyer on her college campus for a babysitting job that she eventually takes, and she gets there with her friend, again played by Greta Gerwig, another icon. And it turns out they want her to babysit for their elderly mother, who she won't see. She's like, in her bedroom upstairs convalescing. So it's a really weird situation. There's also this eclipse coming, which everyone is talking about. And I don't know. I always do these off the cuff, and they're always messy. Do you guys have anything you want to amend or change?
I mean, I think the way that it slowly escalates from we need a babysitter, we'll pay you $100, we'll pay you $150, we'll pay you $300 to, okay, it's actually my wife's elderly mother. Okay, there's money in the fridge for pizza, bye.
Yeah.
But it's very grounded in the way that that's presented. There's a lot of camaraderie between her and Greta Gerwig as to like, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to take care of you. I can stay here if you want.
Yeah.
You're like
Greta Gerwig is a great friend.
She's a great friend.
She's like, Samantha, this is really weird. They
she does
do
the right
everything
thing. She tells her, they lied to you. You can't stay here with liars. It's creepy. And she's just like, I need the money. I have to. It's so good. It's one of those rare moments of like clarity and like, don't do this. It's like as clear as day. Don't do it.
And they're so good together, I think. Jocelyn does such a beautiful job in this. And, her character is very introverted, very quiet, very kind. But she really brings a lot of depth and humanity to the role. I mean, I've seen this as a writer in Hollywood where, like, you write a character who's introverted and shy. And then people are like, well, it feels flat. And you're like, well, they're a quiet person. So I'm hoping an actor is going to bring their humanity to this, and act between the dialogue and the lines. And so it's really hard to nail, and she just nails it. And then we have Greta Gerwig in an early role as her like funny, more brash, sort of blunt friend, and they're just dynamite together.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, speaking of icons, though, a lot of icons up at front. But then the family that she's hired by are two 80s icons together, Tom Noonan and Mary Warrenov.
Like
Mary
chef's
Warrenov,
kiss.
who, like, no matter what aspect of her career, is a megastar. If you want to talk about in the 60s, when she was one of, like, Warhol's factory girls, megastar. In the 80s, when she was in, like, Eating Raoul and Night of the Comet, megastar. Like, such, like, I mean, Chopping Mall, she is Rock and Roll High School, she is, like, a definitive
Death Race
mommy
2000
of the 80s and 70s.
She gets a great diva entrance in this too. It's just like a long shot in another room where she slowly walks in a fur coat and is looking at herself in the mirror, and then through the mirror sees Samantha and does a slow turnaround. It's really chic. That's how I want to enter rooms from now on.
And her delivery of "We're from the desert," is so
from the desert,
good. It's so good.
Everything about her in this movie is queer. And it's drag, and it's perfect. Totally. She is perfection. And that's a really creepy moment to me early on in the movie, because Tom Noonan's character has just left the room to go, quote, talk to his wife. And so Samantha's hearing him have this conversation in another room. We only hear his side of it. But then his wife enters from the opposite side of the room. So we know that he's faking that whole conversation off screen. And it like really gives me the willies to even talk about now. For me, it's like one of the most subtle.
You can miss it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things like this. There's a scene where she finds a trash bag in a closet that's full of family photos that aren't the family that she's babysitting for. And like little things like that ratchet the tension. It really rewards you for close attention.
Yeah. The first time I saw this movie, I was in college, I think. If like a professor had recommended it to me. And it really just like my recollections were that it was slow, it wasn't that great, and it was fine, but the atmosphere was great and the actors were great, but that was just about it. That was my memory of it for the longest time. They screened it at the New Beverly like a year ago, 6 months ago, something like that. As a double bill with You're Next, which co-stars Ty West.
Double bill, yeah.
AJ Bowen is in it too.
Yeah.
So good. And seeing that movie in a theater with a packed audience who knows the beats of that movie, you pick up on so much more. It's such an insanely detailed and like processed and put together film. So much of it is so intentional and laid out. All the little flyers for the eclipse, all of her college campus, the pizza restaurant. It's everything is dialed up to that.
Even the cars. I mean, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Always when you
The
see
fucking
period
Volvo.
pieces, I know the Volvos. Anytime the boxy '80s cars, which it's so weird that they've become vintage to me. But usually when you see a period piece, there are things that they get wrong. It feels like they just didn't have the budget, or it's lazy. And there's just like, I can't spot anything in this that is not completely dialed in.
Because it stays so tight, you know what I mean? So like,
that's true. I mean, it's just
an opportunity.
True.
To strike, right? But then the house itself is so big and so
my
such
dream
a character.
House, Victorian house in Connecticut. It's true. There aren't a lot of locations, and the scope of the story is quite tight. It had a budget of just under $1 million, so not working with a lot of resources. Yeah. How about Greta Gerwig as Megan, who is so fantastic and so funny, just like the best kind of 80s sidekick. And there's a really great scene where she's tried to get Samantha to leave, and Samantha won't because she needs the money. So she gets back into her car and she says, I'm going to come pick you up at 12:30 when you're done. Call me if something weird happens. And then she's trying to light her cigarette in her car, and she's met by someone who wants to light her cigarette, a man. And he's sort of chatting her up, kind of flirting with her, and she realizes that she is not the babysitter and immediately shoots her in the head, which is like one of the most shocking moments of the movie.
It's so fast, and it's not... As soon as he shows up, you're on guard because you expect something bad to happen. You know this is not good. And there's like the rhythms and the beats where you expect the bad thing to happen and they don't happen there. And then it happens in between beats. It just happens so fast and so sudden. There's no warning. There's no steeling yourself against it. There's no like safety for her to find. She's just there and dead. And it is so fucking heartbreaking. It's so scary.
Yeah,
you really care because you care about her. Her performance is so good and so funny, and the performance style in this movie is so great too. It's kind of like the start of the mumblecore horror movement.
Yeah.
Well, Greta Gerwig and the other bigger name who's only slightly in this movie, Lena Dunham, both were actively in the middle of making the mumblecore scene break out with Joe Swanberg.
Right.
And the Duplass brothers. They were all making those kinds of movies together, and Ty West is coming from that exact same school. And a lot of those people would then pop up. Joe Swanberg would pop up in You're Next as well.
I think Joe Swanberg is so hot, by the way.
Yeah, he's your type.
He is my type.
He's very much
Except
your type.
he's tall. Except he's tall. He's 6'4". I was just looking him up before this recording.
Just looking him up. Absolutely
For
no
no
reason.
reason.
Joel's not in the house, so you're just looking things up. You're doing research.
I'm sure you're especially turned on by him in Your Next, right? Like his
playing such a jackass.
He's awful, and I, in movies at least, am very attracted to really terrible men. In life,
What do you make documentaries? You should just, I like commercials. You should make commercials.
Yeah. I completely forgot what. Oh, Lena Dunham. I'm so glad you brought her up, because this movie is filmed and presumably set in Connecticut, because it's cold there and it's winter, so there's snow and you can see their air. Why is she, as the 911 operator, doing a Southern accent? It really is like one of the only flaws of the movie. Here's my thought on it, and tell me if I'm being too mean. I feel like, so she's raised in Soho in Manhattan with artist parents. I think if I'm Lena Dunham and that's my background, I get a part to do the voice of a 911 operator. I think, oh, she's working class. I'm going to do a Southern accent.
She's one of the poor. She's a poor.
She's poor. Yeah. She must be Southern. I don't think it's like that literal, but I think that is it, though.
Or she just thought people from Connecticut sounded like that because she never left Manhattan.
I mean,
She's
you could
never
also
left
do like
Manhattan.
a really in-depth character study that she like did where she was like actually like this working class woman from Texas who had an abused life, who worked really, really hard to get out of that household, and she killed her husband and she worked her way out.
Oh my
And she
God.
landed up in Texas.
sleeping
and she
with the
felt
enemy
so
style.
bad about murdering her husband that now she works as a 911 operator to help people. Like maybe there's all of that for her 2-second cameo that's voiceover only, but like I fucking doubt it. That's giving her
Drusilla,
too much credit.
That's a lot of credit, but I love that. I love casting Lena Dunham as like Julia Roberts in Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah.
Like, what a delightful background for that performance. I don't think it's true, probably, but it's.
I doubt it.
Fun to think about.
Wow.
I also find, okay, the most impressive thing to me about House of the Devil is that seemingly, and this is not the case, but seemingly to the world and to most audiences, Ty West came out of fucking nowhere with this movie. He'd made other features before, but they were super tiny indie things that even today most people have not seen Triggerman or The Roost. Like, but he made, this was one of the very first productions of MPI, who's based out of Chicago. They were like just the rights holders to a lot of horror movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre for years, and they decided to like partially get into production with this, and now they formed Dark Sky Films. They've been putting out horror movies steadily for years now. But gambling on Ty West, the gamble being this fucking good, and the fact that this is not the only movie that Ty West made that year. He also directed Cabin Fever 2.
Oh my gosh,
the
did he?
same year as House of the Devil.
I had no idea. I think in the nooks and crannies of my brain, I knew that there were Cabin Fever sequels, but I have never seen them, and I kind of put them out of mind.
I've not seen it. I probably was aware of Cabin Fever 2 before I was aware of House of the Devil, which is probably not a good sign. But I remember, I remember seeing the DVD at Walmart all the time and being like, God, they made a fucking sequel. Jesus Christ.
You're right. I did see that DVD everywhere.
The 2 probably gets overshadowed by that straight remake of the original that came out shortly after.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
That also happened, like 5 years after. They just made a straight up remake. It's very,
I do
very
not
bizarre.
remember that at all. They talk about the horror
they
of the 2000s.
don't play it for laughs. They play it like a serious, same script.
Oh my God.
And it's just played
kind of like
for
the Evil Dead remake a little bit.
Listen,
Yeah,
I love Ryder Strong with my whole heart. I've been listening to his book podcast for over 10 years, but there could not be like a more 2000s horror movie than Cabin Fever. I've never gone back and watched that.
You're
and
very much right.
Have no desire to. And this movie is a perfect antidote to all of that.
I can understand why Ty West would be a good guy to follow up Eli Roth.
Sure.
He's better than Eli Roth.
By a lot.
But it's not his vibe. And I understand why immediately after the success of House of the Devil, he then made his most mumblecore movie ever with The Innkeepers, in which nothing happens for 80 minutes.
Yeah.
I kept
That's
waiting.
the one,
sorry.
That's the one that I have only seen once and didn't really care for that much when I saw it. So
Same.
I never
Me too.
revisited.
Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't go back because I waited for the ending.
Yeah.
I waited to be scared. I wanted
And the ending's just
jolt.
okay.
It's nothing. It's like it's not. I'm like, did I miss something?
My partner is a really, really, really big fan of Ty West. He's maybe one of her favorite filmmakers. She loves House of the Devil. She loves X. She loves Pearl. And she's determined to watch all of his horror films. And I bought her a DVD of The Innkeepers for $1, and I'm like, here you go. I will not watch it with you. It's fine.
No, didn't he also make a Jim Jones kind of movie?
He did. So he went
I
away.
really liked that, actually.
Mm-hmm. I mean, after Innkeepers and House of the Devil, he did like parts of anthology films like ABCs of Death and VHS.
A lot of television, too.
A lot of TV. And then The Sacrament came out when I was in college. And so I'd already seen House of the Devil and Innkeepers, and I was like, okay, this guy's got a new movie finally. And I really liked The Sacrament. It's
Me too.
not subject matter I typically enjoy in a movie. Jim Jones stuff really fucking depresses the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's unpleasant.
Yeah, The Invitation did it well.
Yeah, I love The Invitation.
But
I like The Sacrament.
Really good.
I like it, but again, it like stuff happens, but it didn't surprise me. Like I was hoping for like a spin on, and it turned out to be just sort of a fictionalized retelling of Jim Jones, which I didn't. Right? Like is that kind of
basically
what it ultimately is, and the acting was good, and it was suspenseful. But
once again, AJ Bowen showing up for the mumblecore horror trifecta,
right? And
Amy Seimetz before she
Amy
got fired
Seimetz.
off The Idol.
Yeah. Oh man, before Alien Covenant. She was great. I mean, it's a good movie. It just felt like I was like, so he just took all the beats of the actual events and made it.
It's very well researched. It's very
but it was kind of like, I don't know. I thought maybe why not just make a movie about the actual events instead of a lightly fictionalized version, right?
Yeah,
that was kind of my feeling at the time when I watched it. But
since we're talking about his whole cinematic oeuvre, I'm with you, Joe, in that when X was about to come out, I was really hopeful about it because I was like, ooh, this is set in the 70s, sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre inspiration. This is going to be like another House of the Devil.
Right.
And it's going to be like a slow burn sort of throwback. And it's not that. And I've actually, we talked about this on our Pearl episode, but because of Pearl, I now like X a lot more than I did originally because I loved Pearl so much. But X just is more explosive. It's more sort of trashy, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just more like 80s trashy VHS horror movie than I was expecting, which I was bummed about initially, but now I've come around to really like.
I just find it really impressive how House of the Devil really reinvented the game. Like coming out on the scene in 2009, that like everything we talk about as being like A24 horror, as like air quotes, elevated horror and all that kind of hoopla, you can trace straight back to House of the Devil. And now it really feels like Pearl reinvented the game again with this like very character study focused horror that's very performance driven. And it continues to impress me. He's one of the most hard to pin down and consistently creative and challenging horror directors that we have that's doing what is perceived to be conventional quote unquote horror, because like David Cronenberg is always going to give you like fucking
Something
a gallbladder and shit like that, which is lovely, but he's not going to make a slasher movie that makes you think differently about slasher movies in the way that Ty West will.
Yeah, I think Ty West and for me Jordan Peele are probably the most talented and special of the kind of commercial contemporary horror filmmakers that we have. And I cannot wait for Maxine with 3 X's. I mean, I can't wait until the day I can buy a box set of all 3 of those movies.
Ty West going back to the 80s. Also, I would have loved a sequel to House of the Devil. The way it ends,
very could easily
sets
do
it up.
It ends for sequel territory. It's but because it knows that it's not going to get a sequel, it's sort of it's satisfying in a way, because as much as we love sequels to movies, right? Like I don't know, it's nice to not get one, even though the movie is doing that thing that well, because it sort of changes the subgenre at the very end with the reveal, right? So, but I'm with you, and I think that I think Hereditary doesn't happen without this movie first. You know what I mean?
Absolutely
like you
not.
see that through line. And I love Hereditary so much. But it doesn't happen without this movie, and I'm sure Ari Aster would agree,
This is really a 2010s movie made in 2009. This completely is a reset button for the genre, and the 2010s, which are basically owned by this kind of slow burn, kind of art house, quote unquote, we don't use this term in earnest, but elevated horror. This is where it starts. The 2010s, I have been on record as saying, is my favorite horror decade outside of the 70s. For me, it's the 70s and the 2010s, easy, hardly any contest. I think, my prediction is 10 years from now, 15, 20 years, we'll see Barbarian as a reset in the 2020s.
Oh, interesting.
I could see that happening.
I think the 2020s are already about explosive, fun, funny, commercial, playful horror movies like the new Evil Dead, like Barbarian, like Freaky. I think that's what people are really craving right now. And I think that that's what marks this decade for me so far.
God, I hope so. That means it'll be a very successful time for me.
Yes. Bodies, bodies, bodies. I think, I think all of that is the vibe.
Diablo Cody has a new horror movie coming out.
Ooh,
does she?
Mm-hmm.
They should have got her to do the new Exorcist. That would have been an inspired
I fucking
choice.
know. Talk about a groaner that I have absolutely zero interest in.
Me too.
I'm going to be in the theater seeing it because I have to. But
I love David Gordon Green when he does comedy.
Give us comedies. Give us Righteous Gemstones. We don't need your horror movies. Sorry to this man. I love your comedy. I think you're like the most vibrant comedic voice we have in Hollywood. But oof, your horror movies. Come on.
I would let Jody Hill make a horror movie. I don't think I'd let David Gordon Green make a horror movie.
I'd let Jody Hill spit in my mouth. Like, I love that man. He's so hot. Even as Keith on Righteous Gemstones, which
He's
is
not
demented.
Keith. He's not Keith. He's
not?
He co-directs the show and he co-writes the show, but he plays Levi, the long-haired guitar player who's like best friends with
Oh my god.
Jesse Gemstone.
This
No,
whole
that's not Keith.
time I thought
I know you would let Keith spit in your mouth. That's a different thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, take that back. Jody Hill, I'm sorry.
It's a good thing you weren't rubbing a lamp and suddenly the wrong person came to spit in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's just spit. I'm not going to die. Listen, we are drifting off topic, let's get to Have They Seen It, the game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I'm thinking of someone from the 2000s who still works, who is like one of my celebrity crushes. Do you think that Adam Brody saw House of the Devil?
Oh,
good God, Adam
yes,
Brody.
I do.
I've not thought about Adam Brody in 10 years.
Adam Brody is in your
He's doing
favorite
good
movie,
work.
Promising Young Woman. I know you hate that movie. I love that movie. He's working pretty consistently.
He just did Fleischman is in Trouble, right?
And he was so handsome
right,
and charming in it.
Yeah.
Star of Jennifer's Body, the most likable character in Jennifer's Body. Just kidding.
Good God, no.
No,
Great
not at all.
Excellent,
I feel
memorable
like-
30 seconds in Scream 4, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great cinematic douchebag, like as a nice guy.
totally.
He's great at it. And he's very handsome. Anyways, you, Joe, think that he has seen House of the Devil.
I think he has, actually. I think that he works in the genre enough that he's interested in what's going on, and he's a very sensitive, liberal bruh, and I think that he's paying attention to what's going on. So I bet he saw it at, Starlight or whatever when it came, maybe even saw it in the theaters,
I think you're right. How about you, Drusilla?
I mean, I'm going to say yes. I don't know if he likes it a lot. I feel like he saw it with a crowd of potentially cooler, douchey New York celebs who probably loved it. And he was like, yeah, it's great. I like how it was nothing and then it was something. I thought it was scary and thoughtful.
Yeah.
I feel like that was his response to it. And if you asked him about it now, he'd be like, "The what movie? House of the, huh?
House of the Who?"
I think you're
Is
probably
that,
right.
Is that the one with the baby and she's at a dance academy? You're like, no.
That's Suspiria. Yeah. I think that's okay, though. That's all right.
That's fine.
Drusilla, do you have anybody?
I mean, I was thinking about the stacked ass cast of this movie. And I mean, from Greta Gerwig to Dee Wallace Stone. And when I think of Dee Wallace, I think of Dee Wallace in The Howling, which is one of the most, for my money, the best 80s werewolf movie. That guy who killed a guy can go fuck himself. All the way back to London. But I'm thinking, do you think Joe Dante, the director of The Howling, has given House of the Devil a watch?
This is a audible format, but I am nodding my head. Yes. Joe Dante has for sure seen House of the Devil. And what's more, I think he loved it.
I feel like he really likes this movie. I feel like he has... Yeah. For listeners that don't know, when House of the Devil came out, it received a very limited VHS release as well, and a big promo push. I feel like Joe Dante has one of those VHS tapes of House of the Devil.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's
Or a
rich man.
35 millimeter print. He's one of those guys.
Maybe both.
Maybe both. I feel like he loves this movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
think that's
co-sign. I think you're right.
Yeah. Joe, do you have anyone in mind?
I do. I am wondering if Barbara Hershey has seen The House of the Devil.
Oh,
Because
God.
if you recall, Barbara Hershey, Jocelyn Donahue plays young Barbara Hershey in Insidious Part 2 in the beginning that takes place in the 80s.
The transphobic Insidious.
The transphobic, yes.
That one, yeah.
Qualify it, yes. And I wonder if she watched Jocelyn's work to see who would be playing the young version of her, if she was curious.
Yeah. My gut says no. And
Probably right.
and I think part of it is that Barbara Hershey's probably not curious about other people. Not in a mean way. Just she's in her own lane. She's hydrated and moisturized, minding her own business.
Yeah.
Our friend Axel made a movie with her for Amazon in 2020, but I don't remember her saying anything about Barbara's temperament.
Yeah, The Manor. I did the poster.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you did.
Oh, wow.
I want to say no. How about you, Drusilla?
I'm going to say no. I feel like Barbara Hershey does a lot of horror movies because it's work and she likes working and she likes being in movies. But she gives me very late in life Christianity, Diane Cannon, I don't support horror movies kind of vibe. I know she was the one who recommended Last Temptation of Christ to Martin Scorsese to make it into a movie. So I feel like I'm gonna say that she doesn't watch horror movies. Maybe one of her kids heard that she was doing Insidious and was like, "Oh, with the lady from House of the Devil? That's great, Mom. You should see it. She's great." And she'd be like, "No, devils just not for me."
I think when she's pleasure watching, she watches Nora Ephron things,
Yeah, I feel like if you went to Barbara Hershey's house and you turned the TV on, the most recent channel would be HGTV, and that's fine. That's
same at my house.
Yeah.
God.
What do you think, Joe?
I don't know. I think she is. I'm gonna say yes. I think she's a passionate, artistic, of Jewish heritage, kind of broad who's interested in what's going on. And I think that she took her. I think that she took her role in those Insidious movies very seriously because she was coming off of Black Swan. So I think that she was really going she was really in that space, and she treats everything like it is going to be not quite method, but she's very studied and very serious. And so I wouldn't be shocked if when she saw the script and knew there'd be a young version of her, if she expressed some interest, or if she met Jocelyn at some point and was curious about what else she'd worked on, because I don't think Jocelyn in between made anything, right? I think that she's had a shockingly
she
just
just
not been in
small
nearly enough.
Yeah,
no, she's amazing, and she should be in more.
She's really
It was
good.
a surprise to see her in Doctor Sleep, and I was like, "Huh, that's nice." I'm glad that she's there. But
I adore her.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes for Barbara Hershey. I think that she, and maybe not even the whole movie. Maybe she just saw some of it.
Got a taste for it. I love that. It's a very charitable answer to your own prompt, and it's very sweet of you. And with that, I think we will say goodbye to our friend Joe Vallese. Thank you so much for being here. Do you want to plug anything or give us your socials?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Really, this was a delight. And I will come back anytime you want me to. So if you ever have the full space, I'm here for you. I can be found at Homo Horror on Twitter, and at It Came From the Closet on Instagram. That's it, and then an underscore between every word. It's the only way I could get it. Stupid. And it came from the closet. Queer Reflections on Horror is available through feministpress.org or any other independent bookseller. You can get it on the evil Amazon or Barnes & Noble, but I ask that you don't. And we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of its publication in October. So
congratulations.
It's been great. It just came out in the UK. It was reissued, Sarah Band Books, with a new essay and forward by Kirsty Logan, who's a very cool, like, gothic fairy tale queer writer who's very, very popular in the UK, and she graciously added new work to it and is awesome. And they're going strong with promo there and doing screenings of Jennifer's Body and
beautiful
doing talkbacks. And I was actually there in June for the launch, and we did a Jennifer's Body screening and a talkback, and it was awesome.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. So please pick up a copy, support queer and trans writers writing about horror movies and their love or complicated love for them. It was a labor of love. It took, like 5 years from idea to publication, and I'm so proud of it. It's an awesome book, if I can say so myself. So, yeah.
Congratulations, and thank you for being here. And
thank you both so much.
To have you.
Yeah.
And then now we will turn our attention very briefly to my very quick conversation with Heather Robb, who played Heather, the roommate in this movie, and it's my dear old friend. Please enjoy.
I'm very excited to hear that. Awesome.
Heather Robb. Wow.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this. It's such a treat to get to talk to you for any reason whatsoever, but I really appreciate your time today. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. You know what? Doing well, filling my days, spending a lot of quality time with my 2-year-old as we, struggle through the strike and trying to find the silver lining, and that's one of them. But it's great to be here. Thank you so much for reaching out.
Yep.
I'm very excited to talk about this movie.
Yeah. So we we planned creating this episode. We got a guest, we recorded the episode. And sometime during that process, I was like, wait a minute, I have a dear friend who's in this movie. I should just try to get her on the horn for 5 or 10 minutes as like a cute little extra thing. As you mentioned, you are a TV writer. You're also a singer-songwriter. But at some point, you were an actor.
Yes.
And
my distant past.
And during that time, you were in a little movie called House of the Devil. Now, I didn't know this about you. I was friends with you for years before I learned that you were in this movie that I loved. Because I've seen this movie before I knew you. And at some point, your husband, Dylan, who's also my friend and a huge horror nut, was like, we talked about House of the Devil, or it came up, and he was like, yeah, sometimes I can't believe that my wife was in that. And I was like, what? And I've been friends with you for years.
Me. I feel like I remember you texting me and being like, you're the roommate in House of the Devil? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, I feel like I remember that. It's truly, I think, like, as you say, there was a window of time where I was an actress, and this was definitely like the high point of that stretch of like 3-4 years in New York, where I sort of like, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but kind of just got in with the Glass Eye Picks folks in New York City,
How?
Larry Fessenden, through Ty. So I grew up with Ty West. We went to high school together.
Okay.
I am from Delaware, and as you know, but listeners, I am from Delaware, and was very lucky to just like grow up in sort of this like cluster of really creative, artistic people that, got into the entertainment industry and have made this really cool name for themselves. And Ty West is one of them. And he went to the same high school as me. We knew each other. I adore him. And right out of, actually, even before, the first time I ever did a movie I was still in high school. And Graham Resnick, who also has worked with Ty a bunch, has done sound design for him. And he has a few movies under his belt as well with Glass Eye Picks. He directed me in the first movie that I ever was in. He like taught me how to smoke a cigarette when I was like 17, and just like such a like little goody two shoes, like trying to learn how to inhale. But so then I think, they were Graham and Ty were a couple years older, and they both had gone to film school. And then they both were in the sort of indie horror scene, and the Glass Eye Pix folks, Larry and everybody there, became sort of that was kind of their crew. And I think they just like needed cheap actors. And so I ended up dying in a bunch of their early movies. Like I was just reminding myself of like, oh yeah, I was on Ty's like filmography and being like, oh right, I did like a voice on the radio in The Roost. I was brutally shot to death in Trigger Man. Like truly brutally. We filmed that in Delaware. Then House of the Devil happened. The Innkeepers, Graham ended up doing some like post FX stuff and used like a picture of me as one of the ghosts.
Oh my gosh.
I died in the Sacrament. Like I'm in a bunch of those
You're
movies.
In the Sacrament too?
I get
oh
like
my God.
I get like force fed the Kool-Aid. We
oh
shot that like in Dumbo somewhere random. Yeah. So I was just like pals with those people. I loved them. And coming out of like a very serious acting program at Syracuse University where I was like, I'm a theater actress.
Yeah.
I just ended up finding my people in this like just indie horror like scene, and I loved them so much. They were like, I mean, Graham and Ty I love, but everybody there was just the best, most sincere, sweetest people. Like as is so often the case, it's like the people making these like freaky horror movies are the biggest sweethearts around.
Of course.
So yeah, no, it's funny now because truly my like acting resume is just like died in this, played a vampire in this, played a zombie in this, like died in this. Like it's just pretty much my whole filmography.
That's funny because, let's talk about the character for a second. So we mentioned it briefly, but you play Heather, the dorm mate at the beginning of the movie, who I think of as like a Wario version of you because you are endlessly kind and thoughtful, and she's truly such a scrubby little dirtbag of a character. What can you tell us about like that day? Gosh, I assume you just did one day on the movie, right? Did you get that?
Yeah, I did one day on the movie. And we shot, I was like bringing all of these memories back in anticipation of this and remembering that we shot that scene, they dressed it to look like a dorm room, but it actually was in the house.
It could have been anywhere. I mean, that's how I didn't know that you were in it, because it's so dark, because your nasty character has blacked out the windows with sheets to have sex with some dirtbag. So it literally could have been anywhere. You don't even really see your face. Your voice is very recognizable to me because it's like smoky and sultry. Yeah. But I just watched it this week for the podcast, and I was like, that I can't tell that that's Heather. That could be anybody.
Yeah. No, it was really fun to just get to be like disgusting, and the like way that I like itch my nose.
Ew, it's so gross. Like
do it in a weird circle and it's all noisy.
Was that your idea? It's so good.
That was my idea. Not to, like throw any shade, but my stepdad has been itching his nose that way since I was a child. And Ty was like, yeah, you're disgusting. And I immediately was like, I'm going to itch my nose like Pat, my stepdad. It just, so I got to go up to that like beautiful house, the house.
It's in Connecticut.
The House of the Devil is in Connecticut. I was up there for a day. I'm pretty sure I like stayed over somewhere, but like, I got the hair, the makeup, like all of it. It was so fun to just like look disgusting. But also, like I said, I had been in a number of Glass Eye movies at that point that always involved like extensive, if not just like makeup or squibs or whatever. Sometimes like one of their movies, I actually got stabbed in the eye with a screwdriver. Oof. And the prosthetic of the wound took like 4 hours. So I was like in hair and makeup forever. Like, and so this was like a breeze. They just like teased my hair up a bunch and put a ton of like disgusting like makeup on me. Yeah. And then I just got to like hang out at Crafty. I remember like briefly interacting with Greta Gerwig and being like, she's so cool and I'm such a loser.
No.
And then really my favorite, the story I wanted to make sure to tell was, Ty and I, as I mentioned, had known each other for a long time. But this was my first like speaking role on screen in one of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had done like a take or two, and he was like, Heather, come here. And he was like, so yeah, with the line, like, just talk like a normal person. That was, and really, like, it was one of the best acting notes I feel like I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, right. And I think especially because, like, you know, whatever, you go to theater school and it's all like, make sure you're
voice
vocal,
and speech.
Yeah,
Totally.
And then and of course he was like, you know, in the like mumblecore scene with Joe Swanberg and stuff. So he was like, please don't talk like an actor, like for the love of God.
Yeah.
Please just talk like a person. And it was I'll never forget it. I've like, it stayed with me all these years.
Yeah.
But it was a blast. It was so fun. Like his sets were always the most fun, creative, interesting people, you know, like I remember like the set deck just being like, this is so good. Like, this is so like everybody that worked on it was just like really creative and cool and interesting. And it was a great experience.
It's a really special film. How do you feel about the legacy of it? I mean, people still love it. People are still talking about it. Does it surprise you? Like, how do you feel about it?
I remember going to see it because I actually hadn't read the whole script. I never like got the whole script. And at that point, you know, he had made, I pulled this up just to make sure I had them all in order. You know, it had been The Roost and Trigger Man were the only two that had actually like come out. And I had loved them and been like so proud to be a part of them, but they were like, you know, micro budget, super tiny, very, very niche, like indie horror. And I remember that House of the Devil premiered. I forget which festival it was, but it was in New York City, like downtown, like East Side, East Village somewhere. And I remember going, not because I wanted to, but because I felt like I should. And I should really like, I should support my friend. Like in this where in retrospect, I was like, what a stupid idiot I was. Because I watched and my jaw was on the floor with how great this film was and how scared I was. That was the other part, was like, you know, his previous films hadn't like scared me deeply in the same way. And I was so like that shot that goes under the door and then pulls up and it's the pentagram. Like I will never forget the terror I felt. And I was like, oh my God, my friend's a genius. Here I am, like thinking I'm doing him a favor by like coming to his film premiere. And now I'm like, I'm in this movie. This movie is so fucking good. And I left just being like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. I'm the luckiest person. And I've like, just delighted in seeing how it has stood the test of time. And I feel like just gained, you know, as he has obviously continued to just, you know, climb and be like such a force in his own right. And that's been incredible. But I love that the House of the Devil feels like this, you know, sort of evergreen. It's just evergreen. And it doesn't feel dated because it's period. So it gets to do its own fucking thing. Like, you know, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's so, so good. I think that's a perfect place to end.
Yeah, great.
Do you want to plug your show? You're playing a show, and this comes out on Monday, so you've got plenty of time to get people.
That would be great. I am playing some music. For those of you in LA, I'm playing a show. I actually made 2 EPs over the pandemic. Didn't get to play, release show for either. So I'm playing at the Fable in Eagle Rock on September 17th. Free show. And it'll be a good time. So come on out.
Can't wait. I'll be there.
I promise to like itch my nose like the barmaid at least once.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Heather, Robb, for giving me your time. And I think that's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. If you liked it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at BloodhousePod. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. Drusilla, where are you?
You can find my art and my website over at sisterhidedesign.com. There's new work up right now. I did the poster for the new Meg Ryan directed movie with David Duchovny, What Happens Later, for Bleecker Street and my new agency. So that's up, along with the new poster for Stop Making Sense, the Criterion release of Mean Streets, tons of good stuff, and a lot more coming soon. You can follow me on Instagram at HideSister. You can find me on Letterboxd and all of the spooky stuff I'm watching as we get into the holiday season. If you just search for Drusilla Adeline, that's where you can find me. What about you, Josh? Where can people support, follow, and investigate your doings every day?
At Joshua Conkle on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Blue Sky. I'm giving that a try. So
why not?
Yeah. What are we watching next week, by the way, before I forget?
Next week, we are diving into a recent rediscovery, a movie that Josh has been telling me about and trying to get me to watch for over a year now, and one that I just found an old musty VHS tape of. So we are going to go full circle, and we are going to watch the long-lost Mia Farrow chiller, The Haunting of Julia.
I see what you did there. Can't wait.